Yo, what's going on, guys? KrispyFlakes here. For today's video, we are continuing the ranking series by doing the small forward position. We have already done point guards and shooting guards, and both those videos had pretty good support on them, man. So keep in mind, if you guys don't mind leaving a like on this video, remember there's typically a lot of people that get offended by rankings and lists like that. And remember, man, at the end of the day, it's just my opinion, right? So it's not the end-all be-all, right? So if you don't mind showing that support by dropping that like, would be greatly appreciated, man. But yes, we're gonna go ahead and get going on this. Remember, the way that I handle this is different than maybe you would see on some other ranking series. I do it based off a tier because I don't want to argue like, oh, you have this 8th guy better than this 9th guy right here. Like, what's up with that? Because that's not really good for basketball discussion, because it really doesn't matter at the end of the day. I do it based on tiers. So top 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, and 30. So you'll see 5 guys in each. And as far as the order goes, it's not in order. So just like top 5, that's for you to decide on which guys are better than others, right, man? So small forward, I'm already looking at the list of players right here, and I could see this being the toughest one. Yeah, I thought point guards was going to be the toughest, but just because there's so many guys that you look at, like, oh my, like this is a solid basketball player, but I have to put 5 guys in top 30 and top 25 tiers. So it's like, there's gonna be a lot of different things to consider. So, and I also see a lot of good like potential with some of these guys too, where it's like, well, you can see them moving up the ranking very quickly, even going to the next NBA season. So we're gonna start off with Pokusevski right here. I know OKC Thunder fans are gonna be mad about this one, but keep in mind, guys, I actually had Pokusevski on my Too Early's predictions video, saying that he could potentially win Most Improved Player, but he hasn't done that yet. He showed some really good signs last year, especially towards the end of the season. But for right now, based off him compared to everybody on this list, he's in that top 30 ranking. And I very well could see him moving up, definitely. But let's not reward him before he actually gets it done, right? Because that's not good for anybody. So we have him in that top 30 tier right now. Next up, we have Andrew Wiggins. And I think Andrew Wiggins is the perfect person to have like as that middle tier guy, top 15, where it's like, all right, that's kind of the threshold now. Like, are you better than Wiggins? Because to me, Wiggins had a very improved season on the Golden State Warriors. Not only offensively is he fine, but defensively, man, like he was looking really good and just really embraced that role. So I'm very excited to see what he does with like Klay Thompson next season and, you know, a fully healthy Golden State Warriors team. It's gonna be a lot of fun to watch. Next up, we have Bojan Bogdanovic. So a few seasons ago, I thought Bogdanovic was one of the most underrated players in the NBA. It's getting to that point where age is catching up to him. He's no longer a go-to scorer. He's more viewed upon, in my opinion, as like a role player. And I think even next year, you're going to see that even more as he gets older and stuff like that. Once upon a time was very underrated, but just age catching up with the man. Other guys on this list that can do more things. So I'm going to have him for now probably in that top 30 range. He could move up to top 25. We'll kind of see how things go. But yeah, unfortunately speaking, that's where we have him at. Also, a reminder, guys, I did not make this tier list. So if you're like, well, Bojan plays power forward or whatever, I'm sorry, this is the best one I could find, so that's how we're basing it. In the end of the day, every single player is going to get ranked at some point, right? So next up, we have Brandon Ingram. I still think Brandon Ingram is a top 10 small forward in the NBA. I'm not saying he's the best fit next to Zion, but I do think just from strictly small forward position, he's definitely, you know, a really good player at that position. So yeah, I definitely like that. Next up, we have Danny Green. Danny Green, you know, once again, man, like small forward wise, he's a solid player. Like he can knock down some threes. Maybe the defense isn't as well, defense is not as good as it once was. Just more of a specialist type of player. And I don't know, man, for me, specialist players, I don't typically give them the benefit of the doubt because I like guys that have an all-around game. Like, I would prefer you to kind of be good at threes. Like, you can knock it down, but also be kind of good at defense as opposed to just being really good at threes and not being able to do any other things out there, right? So, Danny Green, for now, in that top 30 range, we'll kind of see what that about that, man. Like, we got to kind of, you know, feel out everybody else, too. Next up, we have DeAndre Hunter. I actually like DeAndre Hunter quite a bit. He's not been able to really stay healthy, but when he was healthy for the Hawks last season, he was averaging like 17 points a game, like 5 assists, 5 rebounds. You definitely see the all-around game with him. So I'm going to have him listed in top 20 for right now. I feel like that's kind of a good place for him at. I'd still rather have Wiggins over DeAndre Hunter, but top 20 feels good. Next up, we do have DeMar DeRozan of the Chicago Bulls now, and I think DeRozan is still one of the most underrated players in the entire NBA. He had nearly, near all-star numbers last season, man. I mean, he was averaging, what was it, like 25 points, like 7 rebounds, like 5 assists. Those are good freaking numbers. I mean, I think they got a little deflated towards the end of the season because he wasn't playing as much and everything. Where he was playing, it was kind of limited minutes, but I think for now, top 15 seems right. Potentially top 10. I could potentially see him there, man, but top 15 for right now. Next up, we have Dorian Finney-Smith. So Dorian Finney-Smith is actually a pretty underrated player. I actually really like him next to Luka Doncic just because he does have that nice, like, jack of all trades type of, skill set that I love seeing next to star players. Just like the guy that kind of does all the dirty work out there, right, man? So he's a little bit good at everything, which is nice to see. So I feel like Dorian probably in that top 25 range. I would say overall these other guys with, maybe like last season, I would say Dorian was probably better. I would probably say that. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. That's because I'm kind of valuing his defense and stuff too. Next up, we have Evan Fournier of the New York Knicks. Good, solid score. I've always liked Evan Fournier. I've always thought that he was never really given a ton of credit. I don't like his contract necessarily now, but I guess it was roughly what he was getting paid on the Magic too and the Celtics for a little bit, about $17 million a season. But usually a guy that can, score the basketball, which is always nice. It's kind of his thing. I'm going to probably have him. This one's tough because I'm definitely between this right here, like top 20, top 25. Let's put him in top 20 for right now, but I could definitely see him moving down as we go on with things. Next up, we have Franz Wagner. Should be a good all-around NBA player. I don't really expect him to ever be a superstar. I kind of equate him to a similar thing with like Dorian Finney-Smith, where you are going to get a little bit of the all-around game from him, but he's not going to like excel at anything, right? Like can do a little bit of playmaking, a little bit of defense, can knock down the shot every now and then. For now, definitely in that top 30 range. He's got a lot to prove. Next up, we have Gordon Hayward. So Gordon always struggles with injuries, but when he does play, he always appears to look like his old Utah Jazz self. It's just like you rarely get to see that too much because of just like so the injuries and everything. So I would say for right now, Gordon Hayward, I'm going to go with top 15. That feels pretty good with that. Very well could be top 10 by the end of the video, though. We'll kind of see. Next up, we do have Harrison Barnes. So Harrison Barnes, to me, definition of like top 20. He's really taken a step as a player since the Golden State Warriors day, because back when he was on the Warriors, he was like the perfect like role player, but he's kind of taken on more of a scoring role. It hasn't really led to much, him being on the Mavericks and the Sacramento Kings, but you can't really deny the skill. So yeah, that's fine. Next up, we do have Isaac Okoro. So Isaac Okoro is the type of dude that I see a lot of great potential from, and I do feel like this is going to be a breakout season for him. Once again, he's had nice moments in the NBA very early on, but you also don't want to reward a guy before he's actually done those things yet. So I think for now, I'm going to put him in this. He's going to be, in my opinion, more of like a higher tier top 30, like, closer to like that 26 type of range or something like that. With very well with the potential to move up as we go on here. So we got 5 guys in the top 30 already. So I feel like I maybe want to move. I think for now I'm going to move Bojan and Danny Green up a little bit. And I look at this and I'm like, I'd probably have all 3 of these guys over Danny Green right now. But also I see a lot of things that these guys need to prove, right, man? Right? Okay. Yeah, that could all change. That's what I'm having most difficult with this list is definitely like the mid and bottom tier stuff. I'm like because it's so like specialty oriented. Next up, we do have Jayson Tatum. Easy top 5, no surprises there. The dude's a bucket, man. I call him Tatum Tots out there because he's extra crispy. I don't know, man. He's just call him Tatum Tots. Jimmy Butler also, I would say top 5. Now Jimmy Butler can be a little limited at times, offensively speaking. So, but everything else about his game is amazing. So I would say that based on how the rest of this list goes, I could see maybe Jimmy being like top 10, but I think top 5 feels right. To me, that feels right now. We got to see if that's going to be how the video ends. And look at the rest of the players. I think roughly, yeah, that's going to be okay. Next up, we do have Joe Harris. I have Joe Harris probably in the top 20 range for right now. Joe definitely, like, he's more than just a 3-point shooter. He definitely, I mean, like his defense is at least like serviceable at times. Every now and then you see him maybe cut to the basket, catch the pass, and make a nice little layup or something like that. I know he kind of sold in the playoffs last year, but top 20 feels okay with Joe Harris for now. Next up, we have Josh Okogie. So I don't actually know if he's going to start or not. I guess it depends on the final lineup for the T-Wolves, but Okogie's nice. He's a role player in my opinion. He kind of is who he is at this point. I don't really know if I see him getting too much better, but also I see him maybe kind of like polishing his game up a little bit, but I probably have him in this top 30 range for right now. Yeah. Okay, next up we have Kawhi Leonard, top 5. Easy peasy, man. There we go. Next up we have Keldon Johnson. So Keldon is really looking promising. I really like his game a lot. This one's tough because another guy I see having a breakout season next year, man. Like big time. But let's see it first, right? So I think Keldon, I'm kind of feeling this top 20 range. I really am. I really am. I think so, man. Because out of all these guys, I just see more of like the full package with the offensive game and everything. Okay, so yeah, I'm already looking at the rest of the list right here. I think I want to already make a few changes. I think DeMar, I'm going to move in the top 10. And also Gordon for right now. Yeah, I'm going to do that for right now. Next up, we have Kenyon Martin Jr. To me, Kenyon Martin, I feel like is going to be like a Gerald Green type of player where he's going to have this crazy-ass athleticism and every now and then can go like crazy from three. Still a lot to prove, though, and I'm not really sure like how exactly he's going to fit into the rotation of the Houston Rockets just because, well, they have him listed here as small forward, but I do think Jalen Green's going to play that position or Kevin Porter. And you also got like Jayson Tatum on the team and everything, so I still think he's probably going to be a few years away from seeing his absolute potential. He'll have nice games every now and then, but for right now, you got to put him right there. All right, next up, we do have Khris Middleton. To me, Khris Middleton is a top 10 small forward in the NBA. Very underrated. What I love about Khris Middleton is the way that he really shows himself on the basketball court as far as just like, he ain't talking a big game, but he's playing a big game. I love dudes like that, but sometimes they don't get they don't get as much credit. You realistically could probably even argue top 5. You know what? I think top 5 for right now. Yes. Yeah, we're going to put him in top 5 for right now, for sure. Okay, next up, we do have Kyle Anderson. Kyle Anderson, probably top 25 range. Yeah, good all-around game, good glue guy, but that's about it. That's about it. Kyle Kuzma. Oh, man. Kyle Kuzma. I mean, you know what? He ain't showing too much for me, man. Like Poku last season, when he did have big moments, he showed more to me than like Kuzma did. Yeah. Sorry, Kuzma. That's how I feel. All right, next up, we have LeBron James, top 5. Easy. Next up, we have Michael Porter Jr. Michael Porter was very near winning Most Improved Player last year, man. He really was. I like Michael Porter. He's shown enough to me for right now that I think he's warranted top 10 because of that big, huge improvement he had. Now, I want to see more of it, and he's on thin ice of the top 10. He's on the thin ice of it. But yeah, he's right around there, man. He's right around there. Okay, next up we have Mikel Bridges. I love Mikel. I'm cool with him being in top 15. He's really come together as a great player for the Phoenix Suns. Yup. Norman Powell. Great scorer. I like him more as a shooting guard than I do a small forward. But for now, let's put him in the top 15. OG. I'm going to say OG's top 10. Because I was like, yeah, I'm going to say OG's top 10. I'm going to say he's top 10. I think he's a very underrated player. And I think he's going to have some good moments for the Raptors next season. And then that's going to leave Saddiq Bey and TJ in top 15. And I'm just wondering, because, like, my dude Saddiq, I want to come with his bias, but, he did get like the All-NBA or the Player of the Week award. So that's nice. And I'm looking at the rest of this list, like, I personally am not taking any of these other guys below him over Saddiq. I'm really not. I'm not. Yeah, I'm good with having him in top 15. And TJ Warren, when healthy, is like a 20-point per game scorer. And I'm just taking his like grit and grind factor over guys probably like Harrison Barnes. Yeah, I'm not upset with this list. I think this worked out pretty nicely. I think, yeah, this is pretty good. So top 5, we have Jayson Tatum, Jimmy Butler, Kawhi, Middleton, LeBron. Top 10, Ingram, DeMar, Gordon, Michael Porter, OG. Top 15, Wiggins. See, like I said again, man, Wiggins to me is the middleman here. Because I very well could say, like I could probably make a case to have, like, Wiggins in the top 10. I really could. Yeah, I really could. But Yeah, he's definitely on ice of being like, you could say it. You could say it, man. I can make some cases. But I'm not upset with the list either. Then we got Mikel, Norman, Sadiq, and TJ. Top 20, we have DeAndre. DeAndre's a case you could probably make the move up, but I need to see more consistency out of him and more health. Fournier, Harrison Barnes, Joe Harris, Keldon. Top 25, Dorian, Bojan, Danny, Kyle, Pukashevsky. Then we got Okoro, Kuzma, Franz, Okogie, and Kenyon Martin Jr. Really expecting some breakout things from Okoro next season. I want Okoro over Danny Green. I do. That looks pretty good to me, man. But I will be the first to say it's probably not perfect. And I'm definitely reading all the comments on this one. I want to hear you guys' thoughts and opinions. But I feel okay about it. I feel okay. I'll sleep tonight. That's all we got for this video, man. Thank you all so much for watching, and peace out, my friends.